Hey guys, it's your girl London, and today we are going to be doing a look and reviewing the brand new Too Faced Too Femme palette. So if you want to see what look we create, what we think about the shadows, then stick around because we're getting right into it. Guys, Too Faced. So I don't know how many of you guys have been checking for Too Faced. I personally have not been checking for them, but when I saw this palette, I fell in love. I know some people think that it looks too kiddie and that it looks very juvenile, but for me, I have my little butterfly earrings in today. I am a butterfly connoisseur. I love butterfly. I love pastels. Like this is like a me palette. I very much so love this very feminine, almost juvenile type palette. I don't mind. I really like this. So if I'm being completely honest, it was first the packaging that drew me to this palette, and I was so excited to get it in my birthday gifts because I really wanted this one. Inside, oh, this actually is a very delicious color story. It's very on brand for Too Faced. It has the browns, it has their peaches, and really the pops are the purple and the kind of pastel blue. Those are kind of the biggest pops for Too Faced. Too Faced really kind of does these color stories that sometimes just have that pop of pink. This one has a pop of pink, blue, and purple, so it's a beautiful palette for spring, and I've seen many reviews on it, some good, some not so good, but I was really interested to see how this palette would particularly work on skin that was a little melanated, because we all know pastels are just difficult to formulate to begin with, and then we add anybody who has any type of pigment in their complexion, it really can turn out horrible. It has this super cute mirror right here. Try not to blind you guys. It has gorgeous butterfly detailing around the edges. I don't use the mirror. I think that these mirrors really are pointless. You really can just see your eyes, but I mean, I guess if that's what you want, I'm not really into that, so I wouldn't really be using it. There's going back to kind of like the teddy bear palette, these two kind of bigger pans here. So this is something that I would use as a brow bone shade, and this is something that I would use maybe as another shade for my eyes, but I suppose you could use this as a bronzer if you wished, and this kind of as a highlighter if you wish, but doesn't really have any sparkle. This one says Too Faced embroidered in it, and this one, I don't know if you guys can see, has some butterflies embroidered in black, like a black kind of outline. So I'm wondering how long that will stay, because it's not an embossing the way the Too Faced name is, the logo is, but it's more like an etching, so I'm curious to see how long that stays. This palette is $39, and they're selling it at Ulta, HSN, the Too Faced website, and I believe the Sephora website also. So I will leave all the information in the information box if you choose to purchase the palette. So let's go ahead and let's get in to the look. Okay guys, let's see what we're going to do first. Per usual, I'm going to put a picture of the palette somewhere up here so that way you guys can see it instead of me continuing to hold it up all the time. I'm going to be looking over here because this is my mirror. So let's get into our look, shall we? Now, I don't know what I do, but I do know that there was a model who had some pigmentation, some melanation to her skin in the campaign. I really like the look that she did. She had like pink on the outside and then the blue, the icy blue here, and then the purple kind of mid-lid. So I might do something like that. These have the names on the back of the palette, so the back of the palette has the name instead of having the name of the shadows here, and that can be kind of because you constantly have to keep flipping over, but I will do that nonetheless. So let's go ahead and let's do an all over lid shade. I'm kind of into this now. I haven't been doing the all over lid shades in years, but now I'm kind of back into it. I did not use any primer on my lids. I just dusted over them with the One Size Patrick Star powder because that's what I used on my face today. So we are going to go into this pinky shade down here, and it's called Soft Landing, and this is just a pink shade that we have going on, and we're just going to use this Wayne Goss brush. This is a number 17. It's just a kind of really large flat brush, almost like a paddle brush. And we're just going to put this all over our lid, really up to almost the eyebrow. Now, Too Faced on the Ulta website, while we're doing this, let me tell you some of their claims. They claim that this is a one-stroke intensity. Okay, so do we think that that was one-stroke intensity? You guys let me know. It says that it has even coverage and laydown. Okay. So they're really trying to showcase, I think that their shadows are different than they have been in the past, where people have had hits and misses with their shadows, especially when it comes to the holiday palettes. The holiday palettes tend to be a little bit trash, compared to their tin palettes. And everybody knows that the tin palettes are the ones that tend to give you life, and everything else tends to be a little wonky. It says that it's blendable, minimal dusting, and cruelty free. I can say, if you look here, this is minimal dusting. This doesn't have hardly any dust in it at all. It's also formulated without parabens and oils. So if that is something that you're concerned about, it is supposed to be formulated without that. Now I have to say, you can see I am pigmented, I am melanated, and I think that that did a decent job for the color that it is. For being that pale pink, I think it did a decent job. So now we are going to go ahead and we're going to go into this peachy shade, and this peachy shade is called Pretty Powerful, and we're going to put that right in the crease. Now these are supposed to be blendable and one swipe color. So that was one swipe. It's supposed to be even coverage. So let's see. Okay. I think you do still have to build it up, but I think that it laid down pretty nicely. They are blending very quickly, honestly. Sometimes Too Faced shades can take a little longer to blend, but they are blending really beautifully so far, especially over each other. So we'll see as we continue with the look, kind of what this is giving us. Do I have hair sticking up in the back? I cannot stand that. Why can your hair just never do what you are asking it to do? It was always trying to do its own thing. Alright, let's see what we got here now. Okay. I like it, I like it, I like it. So I think, again, for this being a pastel palette, this is doing pretty well, right? I'm going to go just a little bit lower, take another wing gloss brush, and we're going to go into the color, let's do, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Too Femme, which is this kind of fuchsia color. Now this one is more powdery. I don't know if you guys can, one, see inside the palette, the powder, and then two, so that has, this one has more powder than the other ones did. We're just gonna go a little bit lower than we did before. I feel like I've been doing so many pink and fuchsia-y looks, it's making me think like, are all these palettes necessary? Because they really are giving the same vibe. Now I don't think that that was a one swipe. Oh wait, there we go. Now here was one swipe, so maybe when I dusted it off, I dusted off too much color. So maybe that needs to actually stay on here, because this is, on the Ulta website, says that this is an eyeshadow and pressed pigment palette. And I don't know if I've ever seen Too Faced do something that said pressed pigment on it. Typically that's, you know, I've seen ABH do that, Lunar Beauty do that. A lot of the brands that use reds, because they don't do the carmine, it has to be a pressed pigment. But I think pressed pigments really, if you were not to the indie scene, I think that they really came to the forefront with the Anastasia Beverly Hills subculture palette. And I think pigment started getting a bad rap for being shadows that were temperamental and did not like to budge or blend without blending for a really, really long time. So the fact that this is an eyeshadow and pressed pigment palette that says that it's blendable and that it has even coverage and basically one swipe you're good to go, I think that that's a big claim to make. Now again, this eye did have more pigment than this one, and I think maybe it's because when I dusted it off, I dusted off too much. But I think that it is a pretty color, and again, it is blending really nicely. We're going to go back into that wing gloss brush that we had with our original color, and we're just going to not pick up any more color, but just kind of go over these edges with it and make sure it stays where we want it to be with the vibe that we're looking for. Very nice. Okay, so since we're here, let's do our under eye. So I'm going to do this Morphe JH43. It's really nice. It almost looks like a paintbrush. And we're going to go in with the color. We're going to go in. See, I really hate having to turn this and figure out what is what and what is where. We're going to go with the color You Give Me Butterflies. And we're going to do our lower lash line. We're just going to stamp this along the lower lash line like this. And this is a nice kind of, it's It's like a pinky brown almost. I would say a saddle brown, but it's not quite saddle. It's kind of like a pinky brown. So we're just going to stamp that right here because we are going to blend it out with another color here in a second. So let's make sure we have enough of it on the eye. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we are going to take our Morphe JH40 brush, and it's like this. It's kind of like a pencil domed brush, and we're going to take the color, this is one of my favorites, the Queen of Everything, and this is the one that has the butterflies in it, and I'm definitely going around the butterflies. We're going to take this and we're going to just lightly buff out the bottom. We don't want to go too far, but we just want to lightly buff that out and give this some life. Okay, do the other eye. I like that this palette is colorful, but it also has, if you get this palette and you find that the color is not for you or it's not working, it does have just some, you know, it has 3 brown shades in here, so you can do just a simple, more classic, basic look if that's what you find that you're needing to go for, because these just don't work for you. Or you can just return the back, girl. Get your money back. Don't let them keep that money from you. Okay, so I like the way that looks. And since we already have this brush, we are going to go into, let's put the purple. The purple. Yeah, let's do it. Let's put the purple. The purple is looks like a satin shimmer, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4 down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It is Chrysalis Crush. So we're gonna put this in the outer corner. Let me see what this looks like. Oh no. Okay. Oh no. This one I was a little concerned about. Oh. Okay. So it's just looking more like a dusting of white, and that happens a lot with the pastels, because the reason why they have that coloring is because they have that white base in them. And when you have pigmentation in your skin, it definitely shows up far more white than anything. So we're just gonna buff this out right here, take away some of that. We're gonna have to go on with another color. This palette does have a scent to it. You know, Too Faced has been doing those scents in the last couple years. It's very heavily scented of a floral fragrance. Reminds me of my Nana's bathroom with like the towels they hang on the wall that have the rose kind of embroidered sewn in, and you can't use them. And then she has like little seashells and rose soaps that you can't use, that are kind of dusty but kind of not dusty, and you're wondering why she has them there. That's what it smells like. So we are going to then go into the color Free to be Femme, and this is the deepest brown in the palette, and that's what we're going to put in our outer corner. I didn't want to do this. I wanted to do a more fun color, but I mean, we already put the fuchsia in our crease. That could be a nice outer corner color. I think that's what the model in the promotion had, but I wanted it to just be something different than the standard like brown in the outer corner. But as we can see, the little pastel colors are not playing nicely in that sense. So we're getting ready to work with that blue. So we'll see what's the deal with that and see if we can make that work for us. I'm really hoping so, because they did say that this was even coating, one swipe. So let's see what they got. I'm going to take my JH30, which you guys know is my absolute favorite blending brush. Oh, I just love this brush so much. I have 2 of them. This is my favorite brush to blend out shadows. Absolutely favorite brush to do that. So this is the kind of moment, and we're going to take our Colourpop E4 brush. It's like a paddle brush, and we're going to go into Meant to Be. Oh, I'm sorry, no, not Meant to Be. Make It Rain, and this is that pastel blue-green color, and I'm really loading it up on my brush because I want to give it a fighting chance, and we're going to put it all over the lid. Oh, okay. So I did not anticipate it being that pigmented. Okay. Now as you start to wipe, it is shearing itself out because of that white base. It's becoming a little sheer, but it was quite opaque when it was just packed on. Okay, okay. So maybe if you wanted to just do your whole eye that way, or if you wanted to do a cut crease and really just pack on the color, it would be good. But as you can see, for me, it is packing the color on, but it definitely is shearing itself out. So I'm going to do this, and then we're going to pack some more color on it and see if we can get that to build up a bit. So just lay it down where we want it to be, fade it out, and then we'll put some more down and see what we can't do with this shadow, because I really do like this shadow. How many of you got this palette, or how many of you got their holiday collections? I didn't even see their holiday collections because, again, I'm not checking for Too Faced, so I didn't even see the holiday collections and kind of what they had. I'm gonna go back in with the brush that we had that brown in, and we're just going to not pick up any more product, but just lightly take the product that's on there and kind of get that back. Okay, so I'm going to go in, I'm just going to pack it on. I'm not going to be blending anything out. I'm just going to pack it and see with the packing, it is actually really nice. Okay, not bad, not hateful. You just have to do there's a certain kind of look you're going to be able to do when you're working with pastels, especially if you are a melanated person. You have that year-round tan. You're not going to be able to blend and buff and things like that because it just can't hold the color. I think on anybody's skin it's going to start to clearly buff out, but if you already have, it's like you're trying to put color over a color. So it's like as if you were to put this, you know, for me, if I were to put this over a brown eyeshadow, that's essentially what's happening here. But again, packing, it's nice, it's just this is the kind of look you're gonna have to do, is a look that is packed on. Alright, now let's go ahead and let's take that brush again for our outer corner, and let's bring this in a bit. Okay, so we want the blue to be concentrated a little more towards the center. Alright, now we're going to go over it with a shimmer, and we have a lot to choose from. They're all very pretty, but we're going to go over it with the blue shimmer, and the blue shimmer was the Mint to Be. This is like a blue icy, and it has gold, blue, green, silver reflex in it. And this is what we're going to go and do, and put it right over it, and just kind of, ooh, that's very pretty. Kind of jazz it up a bit. This is very pretty. I'm going to put a little bit where the corner and that connect. Now, of course, I go up in my crease because I have hooded eyes. So I always put my shimmers and such up there because they're going to migrate there anyway. Now, this is without glitter glue. And this is nice. I'm not getting fallout or anything. It's just packing it on nicely. So this is the eye with it. This is the eye without it. So I really do like this. Now they have a pink, there are 3 kind of versions of pink shimmers on here too. I think we're going to use that for our inner corner, because I want to take a look at those shimmers and see how they work out also. I really do like this. This is very cute. Okay, so there's that, and then usually I would go in with my JH30 to do our blend, but because we do have shimmers on there, I'm just going to wipe off my JH40 that we use, this kind of like domed pencil brush. I'm just going to lightly go over the edges because the JA30 is going to do too much work for us. And we don't really want to blend too much of this away because the shimmer is what's helping to maintain our color. Okay, so we have that. And now we're going to go in to our inner corner. And our inner corner, usually I would use a brush like this, but I think I'm going to need to use more of a brush like this. So this is the Colourpop E29, and the inner corner we're going to go in with 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3. With Think Pink. And this is a really nice shimmer pink, and we're going to see what it can do in the inner corner. Oh no. Okay, it's nice. It's definitely one that's sticking. So usually I don't just put an inner corner highlight in my inner corner. I drag it up and I drag it down. So we're going to see if this one can do it too. It's a little bit of fallout from this one. This one's a bit chunkier. Okay. You know, we usually go up and we make our C so the light can catch all of it. This one's just a little chunkier than I'm used to working with in the inner corner, but the more you blend it out, the smoother it gets. So blend for smoothness, and we always put a little underneath here. So I'm just going to take my color switch, wipe that off, and then try to blend it down for smoothness. Let's see just how smooth we can get it. This is reminding me like Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century. That's what I'm feeling like right now. Like I'm living my best Girl of the 21st Century life right now. Alright. So I think that is going to complete the look. I'm going to do some liner, some lashes off camera, and then I'm going to come back. We're going to chat about the look that we have. We're going to chat about the palette, and we're going to see how we feel about it. So give me 2 seconds. Let me get that together, and I will be right back. We will have a little chat skis. All right, everyone, we're done. We have everything on. Let's take a look at the look. So if this is what we have going on, how do we like it? Do we love it? Do we feel like this is for us? I don't know. So I like the overall vibe. I like the vibe of the pastels. I like the vibe of like Easter, being an Easter egg. Potentially even like festival season, if in fact there is one. I can get where this is going. I like these vibes, but not quite sure yet. So let's talk about liners. The upper line that I did, I used the Colourpop cream gel liners, and it is in the color DTLA, and this is kind of like a, I don't know what kind of blue you would call that. It's clearly not like a periwinkle, but it's not a deep blue either. It's like a blue gray. I put that on the top just to try to enhance that green blue color that we have. On the lower lash line, I used the Colourpop gel cream liners in the color Amethyst Hour, and Amethyst Hour is just a pastel purple. And I love these Colourpop cream gel liners because you get a ton of colors and they really go on nicely. So I just wanted to give that on the bottom to, 1, incorporate the pastels that we have, and 2, to kind of brighten the eye at the same time. For my mascara, you guys know it was Give Them La La Beauty All Day Every Day. I did 3 coats of this because I felt like this really could have used a lash. I feel like a lash would have saved the look, but I don't like to do that and have lashes save looks. If the look is not it, the look is not it. I don't want it to be saved with lashes. And a lot of you guys who watch me don't wear lashes, so sometimes it's nice to see lashes being worn or these dramatic looks, but if that's not what you're doing on a daily basis, it can also kind of suck if you don't get to see how something can be used in a quote-unquote more normal stage scene where you're like, I'm going to work, I could wear this, versus me blowing out the blue to here and doing kind of more of a editorial type look. Sometimes you just want to see what would it look like if I went to the grocery store. So I did 3 coats of the Give Them La La mascara, and it holds up so well. It doesn't get clumpy, nothing. She's coming to an end, but I love her. I have backups, and I'm excited that I do. And then I went ahead and added just some gloss to give me a little more of a look with the pastels, and I used the Lunar Beauty gloss in Celine. Oh, this is such a nice gloss. It looks champagne-y in the bottle. 1, the smell is heavenly. It's like cupcakes and buttercream frosting. When you put it on, it's just this nice kind of champagne clear color with some reflex of glitters and sparkles in them, but you can't feel them on the lips. They're not huge. It's just really nice. I thought that was a nice addition. So overall, let's talk about the palette. This again is the palette, and this is the look we were able to create with the palette. So the palette itself, and we're going to include these two larger shades as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 shades. Of the 14 shades, we use the mint sparkle, the mint. We use the purple. We use the pinky brown, the deep brown, the butterfly brown, the fuchsia, the pink sparkle, the peach, and we use the initial pink. So we use 10 shades. And if I wanted to go in with the lightest color and do brow bone highlight, I would, but because this look is already so light, I don't need to do it. So 10 shades out of 14. You guys know I'd like to try to use 50% of the palette in order for me to feel like it's worth it. So in that sense, we've used more than 50% of the palette, so it's worth it as far as the shades that you can use and combine. I do think they combine nicely, I think they layered nicely, and I think that they do look beautiful together. I just don't know if the end look is something I would be willing to work for. I think if you want to have it like a pastel Easter egg look, then this is a fantastic palette. But I think there might be palettes out there that are pastel colors, but they also give you more punch. And I think a lot of them end up being in the indie brand world. I don't know much about that world, but I've seen a lot of people wearing this type of look, but it is like there, and I think that that comes from indie brands typically. I think this, for being a Too Faced palette, I think this actually performed very, very well. This performed to me kind of like the Tin Pan ones perform. It performed very nicely. It was very smooth. I think it layered nicely, and it did blend beautifully. I would not know that these are pressed pigments because it didn't stick. It's not traditionally what you think about with pressed pigments, even though that's not true of pressed pigments. They can be very workable. I thought it was very nice. It wasn't powdery, except for the one shade, the fuchsia shade. But other than that, it had low, minimal powder. These sparkles, the second shade did start to have some fallout, but that's because it's a bit of a chunkier glitter. But they didn't do too much fallout on my face, so that was nice. So you're not going to have like a mess, because I do my base before I do my shadow. So overall, I have to say, I like the look. It's okay. If this was a 1 to 5, I would give this palette a 2.5. So right there in the middle, I think you don't have to rush out and buy it. I think you could definitely wait for it to go on sale. If it's $39 now, I would suspect anywhere between $18 and $24 at some point when it goes on sale will be the sale price of it. You know, mine was for my birthday, so it's a gift. I love it. I will keep it because of the packaging and because it's special, because it was a gift. And I will use it from time to time, but will it be something that I grab for constantly? No, this will probably be a palette that becomes more of a sitter, and I kind of look at it, and then every now and again when I want that pop of pastel, or I just want to use this palette because it has the butterflies, that I'll pull it out. If you have an aversion to scent, I would say you might want to stay away from this. This is heavily, heavily scented with floral. If you have ever smelled Gucci products, if you think the Gucci makeup has a floral scent to it, no, This has nothing on Gucci. Gucci has nothing on this. This is really, it's heavily, heavily scented with to me, a disgusting floral scent. So if you don't like to have scents like that, then I think that this might not be the palette for you. It doesn't smell when I put it on my eyes, so it's not like it's lingering or anything, but you still do have to work with it. So like I said, overall I give this a 2.5. If I had purchased it myself, I definitely would be regretting it right now, but because I didn't, I don't regret it, but I just think that I'm not going to work for this look to be the ending. I'm not going to spend 20-30 minutes on a shadow look and have it this is the ending. To me, this isn't anything special, but the packaging's cute, the marketing's cute, but just 2.5 for me. So nah, can't win them all, right? So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give me 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up. Not 1, but 2. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified of all my new videos and you don't miss a single one. Also, if you're on Instagram, follow me at London Brielle. If you're on TikTok, follow me at official_London Brielle. And guys, I appreciate you spending your time with me. I appreciate you making it to the end. Tell me about this palette. Do you like this palette? Do you like Too Faced? How have you been working with it? Do you know any companies that formulate pastel colors, really especially for people who have melanated skin tones, because they're always going to be lighter on people because they have a white base, but we all know that once you put them on somebody with a melanated skin tone, that white base really shows through. So do you know any brands that really give you like a punch with the pastel colors regardless of the shade of your skin? Because if this had been punchier, this look would have been much, much prettier than it is. I like it, but I could just imagine if it was much more punchier, this would have really just been something that I would go to. But with the lightness of it, we have to be the right time and right mood for it. And I don't like shadows that are the right time, right mood. It's like kind of like a pair of pants that are cute, but only cute if you have a certain shirt, or only cute if you haven't just eaten a burrito. I want something that's just cute all the time, it feels good all the time, and that's not really this palette. So guys, thank you for watching me. I will see you in my next video. I have tons for you to check out, so please go look around, see if you find anything that might suit you. And until next time guys, I love you, I miss you, and I will see you on the flip side. I love you guys. Bye.